Today we're going to look at another robotic simulator called Isaac Labs, and we're going to start just like we did with the Genesis series, as they're still working on some stuff. As updates come out through Genesis, I will be there to add my take on to it slash experiment, just like we did, and I'll drop that in the Genesis AI folder. But today we're going to look at Isaac Labs. And the way to, or one of the ways that you can install Isaac Labs is to follow this instructions here, either Conda or virtual environment. I've already set that up here, and I have CUDA 12. And how do I know that is if you have the NVCC library, you can easily see there, or you can just say Nvidia, I believe it's SMI, and it'll show you what your CUDA version is, also what version of Nvidia's graphics card you're using, software. So I've already done that, and now I'm in this step. I wanted to just get you to the point where I'm at, and as you can see, got a lot of stuff going on here. It's downloading, etc. This does take a fair bit of time, so I'm going to pause the video so you'll see a little bit of choppiness in the video. But I did want to talk about my plan for all this, and that is first to look at some of the simulators that are out there in quick hitting detail, probably about 50 minutes total. I'll probably do the same thing for, like I said, Isaac Labs, and then I'll go on to Majuko and maybe O3D and Carla. I've seen a lot of people do those, so certainly just a little cursory view over Gazebo, because we will be using some tools in the ROS 2 stack. ROS 2 is not going away. Those of you that believe so, I don't know what to tell you, but it's still around. It's not going anywhere. First thing we're going to do is upgrade pip now that we're in this virtual environment, and it's upgraded, and then we're going to install Isaac Sim. Okay, this takes a while. I am going to pause the video at some point, but I just wanted to just level set on where you are in your robotic journey. I think still valid to go through ROS 2 tutorials. There's some great ones out there. I can name some names of some just great tutorials. I know that a lot of people use the Construct website, because you don't have to build up an environment. I particularly like to build up environments because I like to know how do we get here. Obviously I want to write code, but the reality is I need to know what packages were installed, what things don't work together. Part of being a roboticist, especially a robotic engineer, is dealing with the challenges. There are some environmental challenges, there's some hardware challenges, and you need to be able to, especially if you're going to like a startup, you need to be able to interop between all of those various challenges, debugging environments, figuring out what's wrong with your system, etc. One course that I do recommend is I'm trying to think of this person's name. Maybe I'll look him up on Udemy. I found his course to be quite interesting. If I can find it, of course can't find it. But there was one course that I thought was really, really good. And if I can find it in this time, I will point out who it was by. But there are some great courses on Antonio Brandi, Brandi. I thought his course is well done. I've done these over the years just to kind of just keep myself up to speed. Sometimes I'm not working in ROS, and was able to get through his manipulator course and his navigation course in about a weekend. Very well explained, all code written in what I like is in C++ and Python. So I'm giving him a shout out. He didn't pay me to do that, but Shout out Still King. So there we go. We've installed this Isaac Sim. And then the next step, which I found is not optional, is to install the minimal version. It says to install the minimal set of packages for the Isaac Lab only, follow command can be used. You cannot run Isaac Sim with this. Okay, I understand that. I will accept that risk considering I already have Isaac Sim. But I think you need to run this because you need Isaac Sim RL, which I don't think it's available to you otherwise. Okay, so now we want to verify that it's running. So I'm just going to type in Isaac Sim. And do I accept the EULA? Yes, I do. Okay, so now I get a kit window. So Isaac Sim minimal is running, I believe, from this. Okay, so, all right, so I accepted the EULA. Now we want to clone Isaac Labs. So here, still in Robot Experiments, I think I'm just going to put Isaac Lab direct. Already exists, not an empty directory. Oh, maybe I did something already. Oh, I did this before, sorry. And then I'm going to just see what's in Isaac Labs. And whoop, all I needed was the dash help. Isaac Lab sh help. Okay, so something's not right with my Isaac Labs repo, so we're going to fix that first before we go any further, because the last thing we want is to have some errors. So give me one sec, I'll be right back. And we're back. All right, so did take a look and see what was wrong there. So if I have ls here, I did have something in this Isaac Labs repo. So I'm going to remove -r, which was a cursive, and I'm going to get rid of whatever I had in there. Because, yes, I think you can just say y, but okay, ls. Okay, all good, all gone. All right, and then now let's clone it now. There we go. Okay, so we're getting that. And once we have it all, okay, paste. Maybe it doesn't say cd into the directory, which I think we should probably do that, right? And then ls. There it is. So documentation could use a little help. All right, so there you go. There's Isaac Lab, and now we're going to CMake, newest version, build essentials, and then we're going to install Isaac Lab, finally. Paste. Okay. Looking good so far. What I found very interesting is in their documentation, they always put these notes after you've already done something. So you have to read further down before you do anything. Like I will read past the point that if I'm following the instructions along. And then, you know, I tend to like to have a note above here because maybe I didn't want to install all this other stuff. And that's kind of common. I think we do that at Amazon too. I try not to do that in my own writing. But if I have a note that I'm trying to tell you, I usually tell you the note before you need it, which I think makes sense. Okay, so this shouldn't take forever. I don't think I need to, you know, there's pandas, building the wheel. If it does something strange like OpenCV or something like that, then I'll pause the video because, okay, it's done. Awesome. All right, so to verify the installation was successful, we're going to run the command from the top of the repository. So in my virtual environment, I'm going to create an empty okay. It runs through. Oh, we're very frozen. I hope I'm still recording, and if I am, great. I'll. Oh, yeah, it's doing quite a bit. Genesis AI and things like this is like it just totally just took control of my computer and nothing works. No mouses, no nothing. Hopefully, recording's still working. I'm going to pause the recording while it thinks because I might not be recording anyway. And very cool, just to show that this setup did complete, however, be it very slow. Here I have my new scene. I have my stop, pause, play navigation buttons here, so I can pan, zoom, all the things that I showed you years ago in Isaac Sim. It looks very similar to Isaac Sim. I can now look at all of my files that I might have in localhost, and it's going to ask me to log in if I want to take a look at what's in localhost, but I'm not going to do that right now. And then I can look at Isaac examples. Let's look at an IMU example. There it is, sensor example. And if you're using Isaac Sim, there's lots of robots here that you can play with as well, as we looked at years ago. Looks like another sensor, yeah, IMU sensor is being executed, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we did what we came to do on this one. So we're gonna call this one good and see you in the next one.